How did ARD change your life?
Yeah, IAD was such a big change. So like I thought before, so I had my position in the Garde Républicaine in the military band, and I was a student in the conservatoire like any other student. And from one day to another, after winning this competition, yeah, my life changed. Yeah, 180 degrees. It was crazy. My phone rang every day for months and months to ask me if I could play this concert or this concert and concerti there and with this orchestra and this program, and it was like my dream came true. Because yeah, I studied clarinet, but I was always very much into the clarinet repertoire and concerti. So yeah, finally I get to play all these pieces that I know from so long ago by heart. Everything that I played with the CD in my bedroom, you know, and yeah, and I got into in front of these orchestras, having being so fulfilled. And at the same time, when the concert was over, I was coming back to Paris, and I was back to a student life, and also being a second clarinet in the Garde Républicaine. So it was very. I really had a double life at the time, but it went well. It went actually so well that I stayed very naive about the job as being a soloist. So all concerts went very well because I was asked again and again. But at some point, we are just a clarinet player, and people they want what as a young prize winner. Of course, you invite it, but then you don't get so young anymore, and so you need all the machine and management behind you. And I was very naive. I didn't know all of this, so it went a bit away. But it's fine because I can say that I've been very naive until the very end, and people asked me to play because they wanted to hear me and not because of the business of the music. And still, this I'm very also kind of proud of it. And it went, yeah. I had really a lot of opportunities, and I played a lot for quite some years. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. So really changed my life.
How did you come to the Concertgebouw Orchestra?
Getting to know the Concertgebouw Orchestra, of course, we all know what is the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra. Amsterdam is one of the very, very special orchestras. So once again, like IAD was in my mind for very special people, these kind of orchestras are also for very special people, which I don't belong to. I'm just Olivier. I'm a normal guy. And so I always looked up on this kind of institution, orchestras, although I didn't, from reputation, although I was not so familiar with all the recordings and everything and what was going on. But in the sense, I was playing at the time with the Mahler Chamber Orchestra, where I had really fantastic years of my life. I learned what it is to play in an orchestra, and I learned the repertoire also because, as I told before, I was very much into the clarinet soloistic repertoire. So I got to know all the Beethoven, Brahms, and repertoire for orchestra, which I was not even in my head. You know, it's like, of course, I've heard them, but I don't really know them. You would say Brahms 1 or Beethoven 7th Symphony. I would say, okay, you know, it feels very strange now to say this, but it was the truth. So every single symphony with Mahler Chamber was for me a first time, and I had the luxury and the luck to discover actually this repertoire there, because under the tutel of Claudio Abbado or Daniel Harding, there's no better place actually to learn. And this orchestra was really magic. And I had a fantastic colleague that still plays there, Jan Bossir. It was very, very caring for me. He could hear immediately, like the rest of the orchestra, that I had absolutely no experience, and everything I did was wrong in the first place, because playing in an orchestra was, with such an orchestra, was new for me, of course. But he immediately felt also all the potential, and I was learning extremely fast. Maybe the first time was wrong, but the second time was right where it should be. And I remember, so the position was open there, and they were considering, and I said I'm interested actually, and they raised just one question, said yeah, but it doesn't always seem to be very prepared, or not to know what to do at the beginning. And Jan said, yeah, but you all heard like me, like how it is the second time, and it still goes on and on. Yeah, so I said no comments. So I was very lucky to get the job with Malheur Chamber, and it seems a bit far away from Concertgebouw, but you'll see the link. So Malheur Chamber is a project orchestra, not based nowhere. So by project you fly, and you spend all the time of a project together, traveling together, like a big family. So you're always on tour, and during one of these projects, I met a lovely Dutch girl, and that's how I end up in Amsterdam actually. Yeah, so we got together, and she was and still is part of Amsterdam Sinfonietta, which is string ensemble based in Amsterdam, and me, I was based in nowhere actually. I was living in Paris, but for Malheur Chamber, it had no importance where I would live, so I decided I would move to Amsterdam with her, and that's how I got to know a bit more. At the time, she was playing quite a lot with the Concertgebouw. She has been part of the Academy of the Orchestra, so she's been playing there for years. And yeah, of course, so you attend your first concert to the Concertgebouw, it's just a big event. It's great, wow, everything is wow. And then you get more familiar. You go to 2, 3, 4 concerts, and at some point the wow is still there, but you can notice details. And of course, I'm a clarinetist, so you focus on the clarinet section, and it was fantastic. But in the same time, very not modest from from me. I thought, yeah, they're good, but I could do the same. So it's not like they are untouchable anymore. So this like I always looked up on the orchestra, which I still did, and I still do actually. It's an amazing orchestra, but with particular players, it's not like they came directly from heaven, and so although they were extremely good players, but you just make the comparison in your head with what you do and what you can do. And I said, great. And actually I wanted to settle a bit more in the Netherlands, obviously, and at the time was a position with Rotterdam Phil. And the other solo clarinetist was a friend of mine, Julien Hervé, and we studied together in the Conservatoire in Paris, in different classes. He was with Pascal Moragues. And I told him, I know there's this position, I might be interested because I'm moving to the Netherlands, because I've met Dit, and I want to live in Amsterdam. And he said, "Oh, that's really fantastic." So I played for the audition, and I got the position. Started in August, and in January was the audition for the solo clarinet of the Concertgebouw, which I applied for. Actually, a few years before, there was also this position for the Concertgebouw I applied for, and I was invited. But at the time, I was still living in Paris, and it was still very abstract to me. It was from another world, so I didn't dare to go to the audition actually, because I said, no, this is not for me. And if this one and this one and this one that I really had admiration for. They went on, they didn't go even to the final or didn't go to trial or anything. So I said, what am I going to do and play the audition if those people don't go until the end? So that's how I looked up on the orchestra at the time. And after getting to know each other, then this time, and I had my both feet in the Netherlands now, just who is playing with Rotterdam Phil and still with Mahler Chamber. Everything was going well, so I was in a good phase, feeling very confident and relaxed because I had nothing to lose also, because Mahler Chamber was really my heart orchestra. I would have been happy my whole life playing there. So I was not really, it was for a more convenient purpose that I would settle in the Netherlands, but I was not really looking for a place to be fulfilled. This I had already. But when it comes to the opportunity to have a solo position in the Concertgebouw, it doesn't happen every year. So I didn't choose for the schedule, and it was a few months after I just had started with Rotterdam Phil. And and it happened. It happened. I still feel very blessed and very emotional. I remember, and everyone in the orchestra will remember. I cried for more than half an hour non-stop because everything was so. I was so happy, so lucky, so relieved, because now we all know that I'm the principal clarinetist of the Concertgebouw Orchestra, but what we don't know is how many auditions I've attended and played and didn't get the position. I mean, I've tried 3 times in the Opera in Paris, so 3 times in the Orchestra National de France, another 3 times by the Radio French Orchestra, and we could go on. So it's like it was not my second audition at all. It's more like 15th or something like this. And sometimes you go round after round, and sometimes you're out after the first round, and even though you think you've played beautifully. So I was relieved because I said, this position, I have it now, and I'm not gonna play any audition anymore my whole life. And this was such a relief for years and years of pressure that you built up, of course. I think this was a mixture of all this emotion together.
What is your relationship with Buffet Crampon and Van Doren?
I play a clarinet by Buffet Crampon since always. My first year, this clarinet we discovered somewhere deep in the cupboard, somewhere in my family, was a Noble, actually. So I played my very first clarinet was a Noble, but and then after 1 year, it was obvious that it was not enough to go on. So I was very lucky to get an RC at the time for Christmas. It was a very very nice present from Santa Claus. And I kept this clarinet for a long year. So I play Buffet since always, I have to say. And by accident or by chance, I don't know. So we all know from Buffet Crampon Philippe Lecomte, who's the PR there, and he's married to a lovely lady called Dorothée. And Dorothée at the time was working for the Conservatoire in Lille, where I was a young student. So I know Dorothée since I play the clarinet, and I guess I know Philippe pretty much since that time. So we are in very good contact, quite close relationship, but quite particular because he knows me from the very beginning, and he could see the whole progression up to now. And of course, his relation has evolved, developed. It's not the same at the time that it is now. So I've always been quite close, not in the sense working together with Buffet, but close in a human relation with people from Buffet.